Hello, I'm Tanisha J, and welcome to Cosmic Roots Alchemy. Today we're going to do a reading on the young man Karmelo Anthony. In this situation, there's a trial currently going on with the investigation of him defending himself, being accused of murder, of murder, um, a classmate. And this is another story that has so many sides, so many eyes, so many witnesses, and everybody is telling a different story. And no one is truly coming in with the same story. Everything is just so chaotic. So, let's have a conversation with the cards of tarot and see what they have to say, what spirit and our ancestor guide and our spirit team is saying. But before we begin, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's remember these tarot cards and astrology are only used as interpretive tools to speak with energetic spirits. This is not anything to take for professional advisement or truth, and you should know, be discerning. Take what you need and leave if it doesn't fit. Again, like I say, we're going to begin this reading with about Karmelo Anthony and see what the spirit has to say. First, we're going to begin a quick read. Let's begin a quick read about what spirit has to say about the case itself. Spirit, speak with us about the case. What is surrounding the case? What is the energy? What is the story that is surrounding the case? The true story. What is it that happened? What is it that happened and is happening currently now about that case with Karmelo Anthony and the young man who was murdered? And like I said, we can say it was definitely, it can be, they're trying to decide if it's murder, if it's manslaughter. They even say that there's a video out, but still, there is no video. There's no video, but someone said the video was, what is the word? The video, someone did something to the video, so therefore the video is messed up. And some people say they saw the videos. It's like I said, it's chaotic. It is crazy. However, let's see what spirit has to say about what happened. What is happening in that case with Karmelo Anthony? Spirit, what is it that you would like to say? What is currently happening in that case? What is the run of this case? What would you like to tell us? What is currently happening in the Karmelo Anthony case, where he's being accused of killing a classmate? Share with me what you would like to say. What is currently happening in that case? Was it self-defense? Was he protecting himself from the young man and the twin? Spirit is saying they're wanting to talk, and they said there were some choices that had to be made. They're asking us to look deeply into this case and at this case currently right now. What is it that we need to look deeply into this case? What do we need to know about this case? What is it that we need to know about the case? Y'all, it's so many cards like being thrown out, and I'm like, what? It's a lot Spirit wants to say. Spirit, Speak to us and speak to us clearly. Give us clarity about what you want us to know about the case, the energetic energy surrounding the case right now. What is it that we need to know and be guided in? We come with yes, spirit, I am here. Jill, intuition. Listen to your God energy, voice, higher self. Ancestors are here also too speaking. Ancestors, speak. Please, what you would like for us to know. Mm. Mm-mm. Hmm. Toxic as fuck. And we got play chess, not checkers. Okay, I'm feeling like what spirit is saying to us. We have spirit, the ancestor team, they're coming and telling us to look deeply into this case. So therefore, we're going to have to really look into this case. We're going to really have to look at this case at a different angle. I don't think what we're looking at in this case is something, it's a big piece that we think we're seeing, but we're not seeing. And I say a big piece because it says play chess, not checkers, and it says to look deeply. And it says toxic as fuck. Intuition. And it's saying yes. I'm thinking it's telling us yes to look deeply. We need to look deeply. There's some things something's missing from this case. Because the way I'm seeing it, for some reason, I'm seeing a puzzle. And even with the card jail here, it doesn't necessarily mean jail. It necessarily means something being contained, something being possibly held back. And it's possibly being, and it also possibly can say there are other things that are being withheld that we don't know, or someone's not saying. There is a piece that is missing, and we are not looking at it. We're not seeing it, but we have to look deeper. And for the life of me, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think, what could be the piece? I don't know what that piece is. I'm not sure what that piece is. I pray that piece is revealed as the case goes on, as the investigation goes on, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is the piece? What is the piece? So with the spirit and ancestors telling us, I'm here and I'm speaking to you, then they came and said, I need you to look deeply and I need you to play chess, not checkers. Not only do I need you not to play chess, not checkers. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Not only do I not need you to play chess, not checkers, but no, this environment is toxic as heck. And that our intuition, the bellies of our intuition is actually telling us something. We're not paying attention. It's something that is missing, because I'm seeing puzzle. It's a puzzle, and we have to put this puzzle together. And it's right. I feel like it's right. We're looking at it, but we're not looking at it. It's so obvious, but it's not obvious. I don't know how to say that, but basically, yeah. There is a puzzle. This is and I'm looking at like a jigsaw puzzle. That's what I'm seeing. And it said, hell yes. So I'm thinking it's a puzzle in front of us that we're putting together, and we are seeing things, but we're not seeing the obvious. I don't know what the Captain Obvious is right now. Okay, let's move on. Now let's go about let's question the investigation, because like I said, there actually is a video, but however, they said the video has been distorted. Some people say they saw the video, some people say they saw the video and they see things totally different versus from what was told. So tell me about the video. Will the video show the actual truth, the actual incident that actually happened? With the situation between Kevin and I believe the young man name was Austin, and he had a twin brother, and they said it was like 3 or 4 people actually confronting Karmelo. He was by himself, he was sitting down, and they confronted him. So, and even they said that when the young man was stabbed, he didn't even know he was stabbed. So my question is, because it was a vice versa, as if like they're saying that Karmelo went up against him, but that guy was super big versus Karmelo. But anyway, let's get back to the reading. So far, okay, I asked about the video. It said destroyed, shattered, broken, completely ruined. So therefore, possibly the video may be ruined. The video may be ruined, and we are not able to see the video, as we do need to see it clearly. Okay. What else you would like to say about, let's see, hold on. Again, you know what? This case have a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on, because anytime my cards begin to be flipped in different directions within the deck, and I have to keep stopping to fix it, it tells me like a lot of things are going on in this case. Like there is a lot of stuff going on in this case. There's a lot of chaotic energy going on, confusion energy going on in this case. Getting played, manipulation, lies, and control. There's things, people are being manipulated, lies are being told. There possibly can be, when the stories come down, the stories are basically, when the stories come down, because from what I'm getting, there are so many different stories. Everyone was there. Witnesses that they have was there, but each of them got a different take on the story. So I don't know if the stories are coming from being manipulated, or they're lying, or they possibly, I don't know. They could be like, I don't want to get into this. I don't want to have nothing to do with this. I don't want no parts of this. It could be possibly that way. Even when the truth is told, they don't want to hear it. They really don't want to hear it. And there's like a fake apology. There's a fake apology of all of this happening. There's a fake apology going on. What is the fake apology? Total drama. Again, this case is like total drama. A lot of stuff is going on. From what I've seen and what I've heard, a lot is going on. And I'm not sure. One more card. The fake apology, what was the fake apology coming from? The fake apology could possibly be coming from, and it says, caution. So, again, like that card say, play chess, not checkers. This caution card tells you about going into this whole total drama, the issues that is happening, all of the things. And I got a feeling the fake apology card is about getting played, the lies and manipulation. The fake apology is not actually an apology. It's the stories that are being told. Some of the stories are not being told to its actual fact. Some of the stories are being told totally distorted. And that's why they say move ahead with caution. Move ahead with caution and pay attention to it, because the story is being manipulated and destroyed by everyone who's coming in, and everybody different take on it. So it's like, what is the truth? What's not the truth? This is the confusion. Because in my head, I see nothing but confusion. Like I actually see somebody rubbing their head. And they're asking to setting the record straight. Someone has to come forward and set the record straight because they're tired of this damn drama. Every time you look, there's something different. There's something new. And so there needs to be someone to come forward and set the record straight because they're tired of the drama. They're tired of the distorted lies. They're tired of the distorted stories. Woo! Baby, there's a lot of things happening in this story. And like I said, it's like a jigsaw puzzle with so many. And you know how a jigsaw puzzle has the smaller pieces, which make it more confusing? That's how this story is, because that's all I'm seeing is a jigsaw puzzle that's in front, basically. A jigsaw puzzle that is in front, and they're trying to put the pieces together, but they cannot put the pieces together at all. Give me a few more cards. Okay, Spirit, I'm going to let you run and just talk, because you seem like you want to say some more. Give me a few more cards of this, of what you want to say, because I see there's so much toxic. This case has a lot of things going on at one, and it's actually toxic. Doing drugs. What else you want to say, Spirit? Keeping a secret. So there are some secrets being told and secrets being kept about what has happened. What has happened in this case? Envy. There's envy happening in this case also too. Someone could have been possibly envious of another person. Is there any more that you would like to say, Spirit? Is there any more things you would like to point out towards us? And like I said, that is going to be a part of the jigsaw puzzle, I believe, y'all. That's going to be a part of the jigsaw puzzle. There's going to have to be more in-depth things that needs to be looked at. There has to be... Again, it's telling us, be cautious when we going into this. It's telling us, putting on a show. There's a lot. It's telling us evidence being burned. It's telling us it's a lot of things that's happening. It's a lot of things that is happening. And I want to say all this is allegedly everything. Because when doing drugs came up, I don't know why. Allegedly, this is not the truth. This is only an opinion. When it says doing drugs, there is some type of layer in this story about someone being on drugs. And that is going to be the underlying thing that is not going to be told. And the drugs could have caused the choices, the reaction that created all of this to happen. That's what I'm coming from. That's what it's coming from. That's what I'm getting from that card. But again, like I said, this is alleged. This is not anything that's truth. It's only conversations we are totally having right now. I'm going to move on to the next. Now, let's find out about the energy of that day. What was the energy of that day that when the confrontation and the argument happened with Karmelo Anthony? And I think the young man is Austin. And they want to say that there were other people. It was a Austin twin, and it was other people who also confronted Karmelo. That's the Queen of Wands. Everyone knows when you see that Queen of Wands, she's very much so impulsive. So there were some impulsive things that were happening, overbearing, ruthlessness. And the Queen of Wands, sometimes when she don't get her way, she gets irritated very badly. She gets irritated very badly. And if she can't have her way and start making impulsive mood. Then we have the Four of Swords, burnout, relentless, stagnation, stress, inability to make a decision. So with you being in an energy of possibly being upset, angry, whatever, you made a choice that, a decision that was with impulse. And here we have the Hierophant. So there was energetic spirit that was there of the morality. There was some spiritual wisdom there. There was something that was keeping someone steady at the moment. Was keeping steady at the moment. And again, we got that death card. That death card was when that commotion happened, when the anger happened. That's what happened. A death happened. Another card. Oops. And all of this happened quickly. All of it happened quickly. Everything that happened that day happened very much so quickly. It escalated very quickly. What else do you want to say, Spirit? And this last card, the 9 of Wands, was like, I had no other resort. I had to do that. I had to do what I needed to do. So the actions that came upon was a quick decision that was brought on from the action happening fast. And I feel like this 9 of Wands is coming from Karmelo. I had no choice. And to be honest with you, this is the only thing in his brain, in his mind, that he could see that would help, that would move and stop the conflict from happening to him. Because it's like, okay, what I'm seeing is like he saw it all happening, but he didn't see it all happening. And in the moment's notice, he had to decide what to do. I don't know if y'all have ever been in that situation, like it's happening and you're just like, whoa, it happened. And you had to make a split-second decision that was based upon your safety. And I feel like that's what happened at that moment in time when everything went down. He had to definitely, from this conflict, he had to resolve that conflict. He had to recall and bring some clarity to it to stop everything that was happening. He did. He really did have to. And that was him securing himself and protecting himself. Basically, that was him securing himself and protecting himself. And it did cause, yes, it caused an ending. It caused a death. But it was like a surviving recovery type of thing that he did. He had to make a quick judgment, a quick reflection. Like, everything was quick. Like, everything happened so quick at that moment in time. It was, and again, like, there's some reports are stating that when it happened, I believe his name was Austin, he didn't even know he had been injured. So therefore, that's how fast everything happened. The energy was quick, the energy was fast, and decisions had to be made. Like you had your back up against the wall. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, now let's ask about the stories. The stories of the witnesses. Please tell us what the stories of the witnesses. Are the witnesses telling the truth? Are the witnesses giving true testimony about what they saw and what happened during that day between Karmelo Anthony and Austin? It is communication happening. They are communicating. However, they see that there was a relationship, there was a fallout that happened. There was miscommunication. It said it's miscommunication. So they are talking. They're talking. There's movement happening that's going on. However, it's such a miscommunication and conflict and trust. How do I put it? It's like they're there, but they weren't there. Like everything happened, and they're like, oh, well, this happened, and this happened, and that happened, but they are not able to be see the stories that are being told. Scattered energy, haste. It was a lot that happened, and in their brains also too. It's like, I think I saw it, but I don't think I did saw it. Like, I think I saw it happen, but I'm not sure if that's what really happened. Like, I think that happened, and that's how they're telling the story. Like, I think when this happened, I saw. And then when they asked him to clarify, it's like, well, at the time I was sitting in such and such a place, and I really didn't see the whole field view. So therefore, there are so many different energies and so many different stories that the jurors and the judge are confused. Everyone is confused. Again, comes across, I'm seeing a jigsaw puzzle. This jigsaw puzzle have everybody confused as hell. Like everyone is and like I said, this is the emperor authority. This man is confused as hell. The judge is confused as hell. He don't know. He's trying to create some law and order and some stability into that courthouse, but he's not sure of much of what's going on. He's really not sure of what's really happening as these as the witnesses come in. After a witness leave, the story gets more confusing. It gets more confusing, and it's like, huh? Like, some juror number so not juror, I apologize. Witness number so and so said this, and again, look, we come back to the King of Swords. There's some type of manipulation, lying, and everything that happened. And I don't know if if I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if some people are going there and they are lying, or some people are lying and they just don't know because they really don't have the whole full perspective of the story. And I'm gonna be honest with you. There are a lot of the witnesses are like, I don't even want to testify because I really don't know what happened. But it's like, well, you were there that day, so you have to say something. Well, it's like, I don't know why I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that the witnesses that are there, some of them, maybe not all of them, but all of them were being sit down and saying you have to give a testimony about what happened, regardless of what you see or what you did not see. And some possibly may have been coached, because I'm seeing somebody sitting there you had to see, and you had like making them say they had to see and they had to XYZ because we're there, and necessarily they didn't necessarily have to see, because they could have been in a whole total different space. They could have been looking somewhere else. They could have been minding their business. They could have been. So yeah. And what this has caused a disconnect of the story. It has caused a disconnect of the story. It has caused a lot of shattered energy, neglect, disharmony, bad relationships. So this has caused a lot of people to break away, possibly from some of their friends, because they're like, what you mean you didn't see this? What you mean you saw this? And why did you see this when you were doing this and you were doing. I'm telling y'all, I'm sorry. This case is confusing as hell. And and when I get the Hermit, that's when it lets me know there are issues going on with that case. There are people like definitely on top of their heads, and they're making misdirection, and when I say misdirection, as in mistold stories. They didn't like. This is what I'm seeing. One person saw this part, another person saw this part, then another person saw this part, and the only way they're able to get the story is line that, like I said, it's a jigsaw puzzle. Line this part up with that part, and then this is what you get as a whole. You have to remember, our first card said look deeply into what it was told. However, Spirit is saying, now mind you, this was created from a dark space. The situation itself was created from a dark space. The situation was created from possibly, it could be envy, it could be addiction to attention, it could have been anything. Because when we see that card, the devil, that means that there were definitely some issues that have been going on, some shadow issues, some things that have been going on. And then when they took that action, and when they decided to create conflict and take that action, this is what happened. There's going to be a little bit possibly of a delay and resistance. I don't know why I see, because I'm holding my hand into my head. I feel like that's how some of the jurors are. I feel like that's how some of the people are who are listening to the case. They're holding their hand in their head, and they're like, and they're thinking, and they're trying to figure this out, like what happened, what really truly did happen. No one really knows what happened. And so that is that take on that. I'm sorry it took too long, but I promise you, it is like, I don't know if y'all ever seen like in the cartoon, how they have the bird when one of the cartoon characters hits something and they have the bird going over the person's head, like that mean they're out of it. That's how it seems. That's the picture I'm getting. Okay, let's see. Okay, Spirit, I'm going to let you just talk and tell me what you want us to know about this case. What is currently happening with this case? What is it you want us to know? What is it you want us to see that is currently happening with this case? Will they be even be a breakthrough of someone who's going to be able to tell the whole darn story? Like, will there be a breakthrough of someone who will be able to tell the story and what happened in the story? Oops. There's so many cards. I need to try and hold on. Sheesh. Okay. Will there be a breakthrough of recognizing what really happened in this case, Spirit? Tell us what you want us to tell us about this case. What do we need to know about this case? How can we look deeply? Because you told us to look deeply. What it is that you want us to know about this case? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay, y'all gonna have to tell me because I haven't looked at that whole case. I heard of some of the things that happened in the case. But this is what I'm getting. With this chariot reverse, there was a lack of direction, unstableness that happened. And it came on by, again, I have the sun card that is reversed. To me, I feel like that is talking about the negativity of children and making decisions of conflict. And with that negativity, that will create the lack of direction and the lack of choice that they use to make for the incident that happened. This right here, the spirituality, this makes me feel like this can be talking about the young man that lost his life, who lost his life in this situation. But there were conflicts. Y'all have to tell me, were there conflicts previously? Did they have conflicts previously? Because with this Six of Cups reverse, this is living in the past. Has someone had issues of, had they had issues previously before? Or possibly someone had issues of always being in fights and having issues with other people, because this feel like this is, I don't know why it feels like a conflict, familiar energy that someone has always been in. I don't know who the person who used to be in this energy, always been in this energy. But this person evidently that I don't know if him and Karmelo had this before. They had an argument previously before. I don't know if the young man Austin, God bless the dead, I don't know if he would get into situations of arguing with people, having issues with people. But it's like this has been happening. And this right here tells me that there has been some type of hostility, there has been some type of deception and issues and deceit that have been going on recently. I don't know who it was towards or what. I don't know if they previously had this issue or there was one particular person who always ran into an issue like this. It was always a particular person who ran into an issue like this all the time. Again, it's showing me Karmelo feeling like this is what it resorted to. This is the decision that I had to make. This is the decision I had to make to save myself. And here we go again with the High Priestess. Whew. And with that High Priestess is saying there's so much more to the story. I think the High Priestess is the thing that's giving us to look deeper, to tell us to look deeper. There's so much more, because with the High Priestess, there's that black and that gray, and we're looking at like there's a black and gray line when truly there is a black and white is very clear. Whomever had the possible issues of the continuous dealings with other people and arguing and maybe possibly fighting with other people, you have to go back there and look. Something is being hidden. And the hidden is not being told, it's being hidden by it's being hidden by a higher what's the word there, God? Someone higher. Someone who has a position, who has a position in a community that that's very revered, and they can do what they want. And in evidence, something is being, again, this is allegedly, this is not truth. This is just alleged. We having conversation. Possibly there could be something being hidden by someone who has a power to hide the information. And that information is going to be the key of the truth of what happened. There's something being hidden. I'm not sure. Again, look, we come back with the King of Swords, manipulation. There's some type of excuse my language. There's some type of manipulation. There's a person who's going to be the dictator. He's going to be the judgment, and he's going to make the judgment call on what should happen by hiding that evidence. There is something being hidden, y'all. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something being hidden. And like I said at the beginning, they said look deeper. There is something being hidden from us. And as I continue to read on this case, I keep seeing a jigsaw puzzle. And y'all know how jigsaw puzzles are always like they're in front of you, but you like heck, you can't figure out what the world. It can be in front of you, but you're like, what the world? Or sometimes they be hot. It's the pieces are hiding, and you don't get those pieces until later. You're like, you've been here all the time. Okay, we're on our last. So we're talking to the ancestors. We're going to get the ancestors' point of view and what the ancestors want to say. I don't ask questions during this time. I just allow the ancestors to speak and say what they need to say. Ancestors, what would you like to say about the Karmelo Anthony trial that is currently going on? What do you want us to know? What is direction? What is the truth? Speak wisdom to us. What would you like for us to know about the current case currently happening with Karmelo Anthony? What is the message you want to tell us? What is the message you want to tell us about the Karmelo Anthony case? Chaos. There's chaos. That's what they're saying. It is chaos. It is disruption. It is a lot that's going on. What's going to happen with this chaos? How are we going to figure this chaos with a Karmelo Anthony case that's going on? How are we? This is the judge. They're looking over it. They're seeing some things. What are you seeing in the case? What is it we need to know? Hold on. Ancestors are going to bring clarity. The ancestors said, I'm going to bring clarity to this case. I'm going to bring clarity to this case. So maybe there's someone who's going to be able to actually say what happened, who saw what happened, who knows what happened, and bring clarity. That's the justice that's going to happen. They're going to bring clarity to the case. Is there anything else you would like to say, ancestors? Is there any other messages you would like to share? Mother and fire, that's abundance. What is the message? It says self-sacrifice, the martyr. Self-sacrifice and the reflection. Hold on, let me get my book out for that one so I can clearly understand where we're going with this. Okay, this is the hangman. They're basically telling us to just surrender and let it take time, to surrender and trust. So we're going to have to surrender and trust what will be happening. And again, I think this comes back to surrender and trust and look deeply. That look deeply card is still in my head for some reason, because I feel like there's another piece. There is another piece to this story that's not being told and being hidden. And I pray that the ancestors do bring clarity to this story. Is there anything else, ancestors, that you would like to say? So far, the ancestors have said that there is chaos. There is chaos and destruction happening, and they will bring justice. They will bring justice through clarity. And it basically telling us just basically to wait. We will have to basically just wait and to see what happens. That's what it's telling us. To sit tight, and they will be bringing clarity and truth to the case. So I don't see any more cards coming out. So I'm going to close the reading right now. I'm going to close the reading right now on Karmelo Anthony, and I send a prayer to his family and his friends, that give them strength, give them healing, give them guidance through this time. I also pray that the resolution of this case become with clarity, truth, and with wisdom, with the ancestors being behind it. And I pray for clarity, truthful clarity to come through. Because it's with the cards that's been coming, like I said, there's something that's missing. There's something being hidden, something that can turn this case around and bring clarity as to why everything happened, how it happened, like the ignition. If you listen to the reading, you can choose and see what the true ignition is. I'm not going to repeat it again, because again, I understand these are people's children, and I'm going to respect that. But there is something being hidden by someone that not being told. And that needs to come to light and bring clarity. Again, we're going to close this reading. And I thank you for taking your time and sitting with me. And until next time, stay rooted. Thank you.